So welcome to the show portion of the evening. Sarah, you're going to come over towards where the camera is. So there's a live stream. Okay, so welcome to the Art of Empowerment. This is our 5th event in this series. It's conceptualized by Sarah as a way to bring people together around the ideas of how you could empower people with inspirational talks, with socialization. We always think that when you connect, you're going to collaborate, you're going to create the future together. And they think in terms of legacy and what we can all get done together and what will last forever, right? So, or as she says, a series of curated events empowering business leaders, fostering communities, sparking powerful partnerships, right? So that's what happens. So you just had the first part of the reception. It went a little longer. We did a little bit of opening introduction before, and now we're going to get on with the power talks. And we've got some really amazing people for you tonight. The first is Julie Lamb. She runs the Roosevelt Houston Trust, and she also is talking tonight about elevating women's voices. And then Cheri Christmas, one of the leaders at Dress for Success, as well as a bunch of other things. We're going to talk about how resilience matters. Taylor Costa Van Putten is actually not going next. I think Amber goes after that. She's going to talk about women in finance and entertainment and empowering them. And then Taylor is going to talk about his approach to things. And then one of my favorite portfolio CEOs, Mette Dyhrberg, who's in this front row, and I'm sorry for telling you the wrong address to go to, is talking about rethinking autoimmunity, because she's done some really amazing things in that space. And Ariel Serber, one of our partners who helped create this event series, is going to close us out. Afterward, there's more networking, and then I think we're all going to gather someplace else because these guys want to go home at some point. So thank you all for coming. I'm Alex Fair. This is Sarah Pustilnik. Ariel Serber is here somewhere, also one of the co-creators here. Christina Marie Reddick is also here, way in the back. Great dress. And we would not be able to do things, make these decks, have these events, get all these sponsors without them. Speaking of which, the sponsors are very important too, right? So you've met the vodka guy, me from Mette Capital. Christina runs Race 2. Find Wonder are those weed beverages. They give us those. Warshaw Burstein gives us this great space. Sarah's company is called Next, as in what's next. Mine is called MedStarter. I think I already said that. The Hamptons Masterminds is by one of our speakers today. Remsen Partners are the providers of whiskey and THC lawyers. And where is Ampha Capital? Where's Aurora? Aurora Maher from. So without you guys, we could not do all this. Please talk to our sponsors. Sarah, I think everybody knows you. Do you want to? Okay, well, there's a whole slide on Sarah. Okay. There's a whole slide on me.
Oh, Sarah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words, Sarah?
Yeah, a few words.
So yeah, I taught her the George Burns Gracie Alley thing, and she loves it.
She's like Lady Gaga.
I, on the other hand, talk too much. Anyway, if you want to talk about healthcare investing, things like that, come talk to me. If you want to talk about family office legacy, talk to her. I think that's enough about us, because we're not the stars of this act. I did mention all these folks except James Wolfe. He's our founder sponsor here tonight, or a sponsor. So let us get on to Julie. Okay, she is here someplace, right? There she is. She's Chief Investment Officer at Roosevelt Houston Trust, and you can read all this later. It is available. Okay, yes. Unless you want me to do like one of those serious intro things, which I'm terrible at, but don't not trip over this. Okay, well, we don't really need that. Anyway, so take it away.
Oh, thank you so much, Alex. Thank you, Sarah, so much. Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm Julie. I'm going to put my face right in the middle of this light because, as they say in the arts, always find your light, right? Always find your light. Who here in the room, at least today, somewhere found their light? I think for someone who didn't raise their hand right now, could be yours. So I'm Julie Lamb. I'm a founder. I'm an investor. I have 3 really important pillars in my life that if it resonates with you, I hope you take a little bit of it. If you have something that you want to share with me afterwards, I would love to find out more about you. If I get to invest in a company, I like it to be elevating a woman's voice. Some part of elevating a woman's voice. We ladies have 80% of the decision-making power in our household. If we stick together, much like the name of the event today, in the Art of Empowerment, the things we can do if we stick together. Now, I don't want to alienate any of our men in the group because our men are our ambassadors. We love you, and we need you because we're here for you. Obviously, it's where it all started, or at least if you want to say where we think it all started, right? And my second pillar is, does it help underserved or marginalized communities? It's very important for me to truly understand many of us are in that sandwich generation. We go between taking care of our kids and our parents, and we haven't left more than 25 miles from where we were raised. And so if we can bring that money back into our businesses, the hair salons, the tattoo parlors, the local bodegas, the dry cleaners, help give them the tools that are available, that really warms my heart. And then if it's something to do with impact, seriously, you guys, Dress for Success, helping a woman get back on her feet, maybe helping her with job placement or resume building or something that really gives a woman her confidence back to go either back into the workforce, be trained by a group of people. Maybe many of you are here in the room. So those are the three pillars that I love to participate in as an investor. As a founder, I founded a company called NFT VIP. I'm a musician by trade. I've not stopped playing music. If you have a passion, I'm telling you right now as Julie, if it's just back there as a mustard seed, tap into that passion. If you like playing Parcheesi or Mahjong, or you tinker around on your grandma's old piano that's out of tune, just keep doing that, because that's your little nugget of what's going to keep you going. So as a musician by trade, I love the arts, and it got me into digital assets. And that's one thing Sarah wanted me to talk about today a little bit, with just the opportunities. Many people have seen the opportunities of fun art and digital assets. As a musician, I invested in a fractionalized movie studio, Robert Rodriguez's Action Films, and I got to submit a film idea. I got to actually write a title track for the film. I've written a couple of songs for multiple albums for the film. I did make it to the second round, did not make it into the third round, but knowing that I could fractionalize invest with crypto in a movie film studio and have one of my passionate ideas be interjected into it, love the idea of digital assets. As a landowner, a real estate aficionado, loving doing that with the family and fourth generation landowner. Learned from my grandparents how to really till and make it happen from the ground up. And knowing that digital assets now are talking into and creeping into the potential for titles being online, or proof of ownership, or large amounts of sales from people using non-fiat or cryptocurrencies or stable coins to purchase real estate. Where does that blockchain space fall into that? But moreover, what I love about digital assets is the ability to solve problems. People talk about RWAs all the time. It's a big catchphrase, RWA, real world assets, 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 assets. How about solutions, right? So for me, real world solutions were important. Who here in the crowd's had a mango in the last 2 years? Mango? Yeah, a mango, right? If you've had a mango in the last 2 years, it could have come from Haiti. And if it did, it's because of blockchain technology. Haitian mango farmers were losing out, and their product was rotting on docks before it could get to our American grocery stores. But now with stablecoin and instant payments, everyone is paid. The supply chain gets put back into our grocery stores. That's exciting to me. So passion, sticking it together. I think we're probably pretty close to time right now, but you guys don't forget what your passion is. And if you don't think you have one, find it and nurture it and grab it. And most importantly, I want to learn about you. I got the opportunity to come up here for 7 minutes and say thank you so much for Sarah and Alex for putting this together. I really think rooms like this are great to know someone, meet someone. I met a few new friends here, have a couple of longtime known friends in the crowd. I hope to meet more of you, and happy to answer any questions. I could go really far into crypto assets and digital assets. If anybody had any questions about those, we can carve out time. Been in the space for about 10 years. And I'm not quite sure sometimes if you're going to get a question or an answer from me, but you had mentioned that you were going to do 2 questions. Did we have time?
I do believe we do. Does anybody have a question for Julie? Anybody have a question for Julie? I have a mic here.
Oh. Speaking to the lapel.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Amber Creighton, and I would love to connect further because I find that crypto and the entertainment industry are really booming, and I'm seeing that firsthand. And I do have one question. Are you able to, for example, put a crypto into a film, but then still monetize the upside of it? I mean, I'm just thinking that is a strategy that I've been seeing?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure as a line producer where the upside at the anything of investing in a film might land, right? But there are entities like Republic Crypto. They have offices based all over. They've done the fractionalized ownership through crypto into film, and also I believe it's theater. So they have 2 or 3 different very large celebrity entities. One of them is Robert Rodriguez for his action film studio. You can invest in crypto in that as a fractionalized owner. And I wish I remembered his name. He plays a lot of the kind of movie horror characters, and I'll remember it after I'm off stage. But there's a whole film division for his passions, which is horror films, and you can invest either regular fiat or crypto. And I thought about it. I thought, I bought a few pictures. I'm going to be honest. I've had some memes. I love my meme communities. They're awesome. But investing as a fractionalized owner in a film. And I'd love to see one day women be action filmmakers and also horror filmmakers in more mass.
Yeah.
Awesome. So great to have you on stage tonight. Big round of applause for Julie. Women who are driving change in crypto and many other places. So next up, we're very excited. It's Christmas. Okay, it's a little early for Christmas. I'm sorry. You never had that joke made from the stage ever before, I'm sure. Anyway, it's Cheri Christmas. And another super inspirational leader. When you do have a question afterward, just raise your hand and I'll come over. And now that you don't have to talk into my lapel anymore. Anyway, Cheri, would you like to come on up? She's going to talk to us about resilience. We all need more resilience.
Hi. Thank you. You see, I don't even need it. This is a little long version. Julie made a short version, so you can read it or not. But I'm going to tell you that I'm very grateful to be here. Really grateful. I love meeting new people. I feel like I'm at church all the way back there. I love that back row. Just going to say hi, everybody. I have a very big life story. It's very full. It's interesting even to anybody. A lot of really bad stuff, a lot of really fabulous stuff. And many of us have those stories, and we could build friendships and communities and never know them. So one of the things that I want to share is kind of a 2-minute quick life story, 2 minutes, not even. And I'm 63 years old. So something that happened when I was 25, I became homeless. I worked my whole life since I was 12 to 25. I worked really hard. I supported my family. I fed my family. I helped my mom pay for heat, the whole story. And I was doing really well. I was making lots of money for a young girl, had traveled to Europe a couple of times. And then I was stopped for a year, and my house was burnt down one evening when I was in New York City selling diamonds and jewelry. So I went from having a nice life, not privileged like most of us, but doing well, to nothing. And so that's one of my devastating stories in my life in a 10-second version. I've had 4 or 5 of those. And so I'm here just to talk for a minute about resilience and empowerment and power and love and what we all need in our digital, financial, political, crazy world. I'm your angel for the night for 4 more minutes. And I just want to say that we've all been, and I see all these smiles, and I see so much stuff when I look out at you. It's amazing. And like I said, we all have a story, right? So the bottom line is I've learned to be I was kidnapped when I was 12 years old. I mean, I learned tools at 9, 12 years old that I've carried my whole life. And I work on them every day. It's not like, oh, the magic potion, I'm happy and can take anything. Just to give you an idea, 2 years ago, I was in a devastated car accident. Why I say devastated, I never thought it'd happen again. It was the 4th time someone hit me from the back. Ended up in the woods, between trees, and I've been in rehab for 2 years. And I can stand here and tell you, if somebody wants to come here and have a little thigh competition, I am strong as hell. My back hurts sometimes. Can't do a lot of the things I used to, but I can do this, and I can share the story and tell you, no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you will go through, there's some things that are really, really important. And some of you know, and maybe more than half still don't know. I can feel it. We need to be grateful as hell. We need to remember the most important thing in life is our breath. Nothing else. And I love you guys for that, because it makes me feel good. Those were the words I heard when I was 16. I was already a workaholic, And that's what my stepfather, not technically, said. Nothing is more important than your breath. Slow down, girl. I haven't really slowed down. I'm a little slower because the car accidents really teach you a lesson. But of course, that's because God's doing this, right? To slow me down. So here I am to tell you what I've done with that. I started a company. I was homeless at 25. I started a company. I love fashion. It's a whole big story. In 1 year, I had $1 million company from homeless. And within that 5 years, I built a $40 million company, basically. I was the leader in fashion handbags, women's accessories for many years. All the people you know, Calvin Klein, Donna Karan, all came after me. And I sold more bags than almost all of them, probably to date, enough to go to the moon twice. There's millions of women carrying my bags. I do have a brand, Max New York. I think I closed it like 7-10 years ago. I don't even know. That's a whole nother story. I put my time into charity. I do a lot of work with Dress for Success. It's been 27 years, I think, since they started. I'm on the board at Brookhaven out in Long Island because I live in the Hamptons. I don't live here anymore. I love New York. I chose to do what I want to do in life. I want to be by the beach all year. And I work hard for it somehow. This is charity. This is love. But I want you guys to enjoy your life no matter how fast you're going. And I would like to encourage you to give back in any way. Find something you want to give back, even physically, financially, get people, whatever it is, because I feel so good even when I didn't feel good, because I do that no matter what. No matter what, I give back. Dress for Success, by the way, as a charity, 27 years in 140 countries. We've served $1.3 million of people. You can tell this is not scripted, right? There was like 4 notes I got to remember. We're taking care of women. And you know what that means? The charity's taking care of women. It builds communities. It gets people back to work. Kids learn how to work. They learn how to survive. They learn resilience. What we need, the privileged, and what they need, some people that have nothing. So I love this non-profit because of that. I love that they're not just about donating clothes. The truth is, if you wanted to give your clothes today, you couldn't. We have so many clothes. Right now, we can't take any. It's kind of crazy. It makes me even sadder. It makes me want to start a charity, Judy Lamb. Julie. We always say we want to, because it's so good when people feel good. So that's really what I do. I also have a company with Julie Lamb, my partner and very good friend of 15 years, called Hamptons Masterminds. And I know some of you have heard it and some of you have been to our events. We run events from New York City, pretty much down to Miami, and we choose to do as much as we can in the Hamptons and Miami. But I love the Hamptons, and so did Julie. We both live there. And it's similar to this. It brings people together. It builds community. We build community with the people we love. We love artists. We love producers. We love musicians. We love techies. We love people that want to learn and want to give back. And that's why we're all here tonight. And I'm just going to say, can you guys do me a big favor? Can you stand up for 1 minute? Just 1 second. Because I have so much good energy right now with you. And I just want you to think of me sending it to the right, a big love. I just want you guys all to feel a little bit connected, because this is a really cool group. And thank you, Sarah and Alex. My heart is full just looking out at you guys. So give back, check into the charity. If you want a different one, I'll find it for you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for? There's no mic dropping. Get back over here.
You know, it's funny. I own a company called Hamptons Masterminds. Nobody even knows what that does. All right, so we have events and we have retreats. If you need to calm your ass down, just talk to Julie and I, and we will tell you exactly what you need. And who has the question? I'm looking.
Your name? Hi, my name is Francis.
Hi, Francis.
It was a blessing to cross you downstairs because you instantly had that moment of recognition and also that grace of humility of not trying to pinpoint something. And I love that you shared the displacement of your foundation of stability. I think a lot of people don't know that in New York City, there is over 45% to 57% of women who are homeless, who are employed in the state of New York. And I also do part-time case managing for Help USA.
Wow.
And I'm listening to your story, and I'm listening to this mission where you clothe people And I just want to ask you, would you ever be down to come to help USA and just merge with us? Because there's a lot of women who are very educated and who have gone through the same similarities. And for you to stand here and be an advocate in your own right, in your own self, versus the women that I have worked with who are so intersexually designed to believe because of their race and because of their stature that this is a punishment for them. And then I listened to your story and I'm like, you know what? If I could be the most humble person of color in this room and say, this is somebody who's used their privilege to express that this is the same issue that we all face, which is economical displacement. And I would love to connect you to people from helpusa.org to these women that are in these shelters who need clothing, who are qualified for educational and job placements, and just have your brand come and do a pop-up so that these people can see that, hey, it's not just about what you look like. There are people who don't look like us that are going through the same thing. And for you to be 25 and homeless, and for me when I was 25 doing drugs, to saying, hey, I'm an alcoholic, let me start a wine business, because hey, I know what it's like to be down out, but I also know that people like to drink, and I'm going to take that and turn it around. And for you to be in the Hamptons, great for you, but I invite you to come back to your birthplace.
All right, baby, we're on. Bring it on. I'm coming. You know
Okay.
why? More than that story? Because I met your mother. And I know where it comes from because I met your mother.
Okay.
That was beautiful. And yes, I'm going to come. And you know what we're going to figure out? Because I can't stand this. All these clothes that we can't take, we're going to give them to you.
Exactly.
We're going to figure out how to give them to you.
When we
We'll take
connect,
'em.
we'll collaborate, and we'll create the future.
No-brainer,
It's
right?
better for all.
We don't have to start our own charity. She's got one.
Thank you. Big
Well,
round of applause
Mama
for both.
Robin. Mama Robin has to
Mama
speak.
Robin. Yes.
I'm just gonna let you know I met a lot of you, and some of you were, talking, so I didn't. Those two and I met in the lobby, and I gave them a hug. Like I just knew.
It's
See,
a
we
beautiful
didn't
thing.
speak, so that's beautiful.
If one thing comes out of tonight, then that will be one beautiful thing. But a lot of things are going to come out tonight. Okay,
Don't
thank
forget.
you.
Mama Robin.
We
has
will
a
not
question.
forget Robin. Can we get out to the next speaker?
No, you can't forget her now. She's one question. Ready? Go ahead.
Was there an actual question there? I thought, oh, I'm sorry. You have another question.
No, Robin's
We look the same. We're just two different people.
She's pointing
Don't
in
mess
your
with the
direction.
mothers, man. Alex gonna tell you something.
All right. Listen, I relate to you. What you going through? I've been there. I know. I want to rebuild. I've been in the legal field for 35 years in New York and in Houston. And it was such a simple thing to give back to community. Because what you think is not worthy or of value to you, that could be $1 million to somebody who has less. I was working at a firm called Sun and Shine at the time. Had a great attorney I worked with, top real estate attorney. And in my church, there was a young lady who worked at a women's shelter. And I mean, these women had suffered from being in abusive relationships. Some of them had children. They didn't know where they were coming from because they really were dealing with mental anguish from the abuse, the worries of their children, not wanting to be found by their abuser, looking for protection, being able to go to work without being harassed. It was a lot they went through. So what we did, we found another woman's shelter that she had volunteered with. And I came up with an idea called Closet Spring Clean.
good. That was
You would just
It's
go
good.
through your closet. Things you know, we don't outwear our clothes. We never really do. We wear an outfit maybe 2-3 times and it sits in the closet for years. Oh, I'll wear that, but we never go back.
I have to ask you something.
Yes, ma'am.
Just because he's such a gentleman, and I know he's got to move everybody at a certain time, and you're like, no, 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 and her heart is amazing, and you're amazing. I have one question. So if we contact you, and you're gonna
I'm ready.
she's in, and you will do the closet thing. Don't even tell them anymore.
ready.
That's it. That's all they need to
Okay.
hear for today, baby.
Thank
You guys got the point. We are friggin' lucky. Lucky. Look at you with your like cool jackets and sweaters. Look at this guy with the blue amazing jacket, right? With a cool t-shirt. He's cool and dressed as well. No, we're really lucky, and this is amazing what just happened. Because you know what? All the other shit doesn't really matter. It's just what we do. It matters what we do with our heart, you know? And the more money we have, we are able to give. So
Thank you,
let's give.
Robin. Thank you. We could do this all night.
Thank you, guys.
But anyway.
No, I have a date after this.
Let's talk about that.
That's a little more information than we needed here, folks. Okay, so this has been a really amazing start to our Art of Empowerment talks. We've actually seen it happening here in real life,
That's what it's
Okay.
about right there.
despite the
Right.
MC sort of being a bonehead. So sorry about that. I'm just trying to keep a show going. Anyway, but no, thank you for interrupting the show for good reasons. That's what it's. That's what
I
we.
think
that's
we
what we're
just
here
learned
for.
Was amazing, right?
Absolutely.
Do you guys agree?
No, this
Honestly,
this is
Don't
has
you
not,
feel it
never
in your
happened
heart? All right.
like a live
So-
show. I feel like Jerry Springer.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Baby, bring
Anyway.
it on. We're ready.
Okay, so our next person that was supposed to be up next, I believe, was Amber Creighton. Okay, but Amber, you may need to steal the mic from Cheri. I do need to go do something up there.
Ready? Look, we're getting.
Here you go. Next one. Next one.
Oh,
No, she's got the one. That's different.
okay.
There she is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Sir. Okay, so Amber Creighton is going to talk to us tonight about entertainment and women and
Women in entertainment and finance.
entertainment and finance. Okay, so if you'll wait till I can put the camera on you. Okay, shoot.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and this actually it all ties in beautifully with women in finance and business. Dress for Success does. I do want to give a shout out. It's one of my mentors gave this really powerful speech, and she called it her green high heels in the boardroom. And I find that so powerful because for women, dressing up is not just it's you have to wear XYZ to a certain event. It really is about empowerment and how that can make you feel, make you you're more successful in business. I mean, take for example, Madame Curie, right? You look at her and she could have definitely pulled an Albert Einstein, but instead you see all of her and all of her photos immaculately dressed for the time, hair done. I do think, and that's part of what I did want to touch on in women in business is being able to express yourself and through fashion, which I also do a lot in as well, and really being able to have that power and that empowerment, and especially for women who are very well educated but may not have access to the business suits and the clothing that makes them feel powerful, make them, because I was speaking with a really impressive CEO yesterday in the entertainment world, and she's saying we as women tend to mute ourselves so often. We tend to like try to play ourselves down or make ourselves more demure, and instead we should really engage that power. I work with a lot of women founders. I work with a lot of institutional investors and family office that focus on investing in women in entertainment, women founded companies. And I think that's really the way forward, is providing a lot of support for women who are focused on making the world a better place. I work with, for example, one company that they have an actual portable greenhouse that they can put anywhere and do with a lot of these luxury brands. They'll be able to grow botanicals on site, and they're actually using that to send botanicals into space with a lot of the major space companies. And then in addition, you can use that for sustainable agriculture as well. And this is all women-owned businesses, empowering and supporting women. And obviously men are key to this as well. But I can't emphasize enough how important it is, like for charities like Dress for Success, of really giving everyone these opportunities. And I love New York for that reason, because you can start out anywhere and become a multimillionaire, multi-billionaire, and you just need people to believe in you and support you. And I come from a very varied background. I come from archaeology. I come from doing fashion, finance. I come from doing red carpet events. And I do that actively now all over the world. But the important thing is, I think, being able to express yourself through really engaging all of your power, whatever that is to you. And that's for men and women. And I'm also working now with a really amazing company that elevates women in film, the integrity of women in film. And I find that particularly moving, because if we provide educational women opportunities for young women, especially to go abroad and experience this. I lived overseas for a long time, and that was through educational scholarships and educational opportunities. And just having that opportunity and seeing how women are treated and viewed all over the world has made me incredibly thankful to be and live in a place where, I can wear what I want. I can, whatever makes me feel powerful. But I really do think it goes beyond just equal opportunity. You have to really support women being able to express themselves, women being able to have the funding to get these brilliant, sustainable ideas off the ground. And that's something I am really dedicated to. And honestly, it's just like you take example for the company that may be able to bring sustainable agriculture all over the world. That's because someone believed in a woman founder. And now we have technology that we never would have had if people hadn't taken the time out to do that. And there's brilliance everywhere, and we can't categorize it. We can't minimize it. If there's something that makes you truly powerful, you should be able to express that. And we need to support that and support innovation and be more open-minded. And that's why I've always been a big supporter of Dress for Success. I didn't even realize that you were the founder of it, but I've always supported that group. And I think that's really powerful. I'm really thankful you guys are here. But yeah, I think, in regards to anything with really empowering women, that's what I'm here to support. So if you're in line with that, I'd definitely love to talk with you. And so thank you so much.
Thank you, Amber. So many inspiring women here today. Does anybody have a question or a comment for Amber? Andrew Einhorn. Sorry, okay.
Where did you live overseas?
Egypt, Holland, Malta. I did my master's at Cambridge in England, and I lived in Hong Kong. Then I worked in Cyprus. A lot of that was international archaeology. Some of it was teaching advanced mathematics. And I think it's really eye-opening. And I worked a lot in Turkey as well, and Italy also. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Charles Gregg. The question I have is, if there's one or more financial disciplines to promote to women in parallel to entertainment, fashion, all of the worldly knowledge you have, what would it be? And would you be seriously passionate about promoting it to women?
That's a really good question. And I would say don't let anyone define or limit you, because they will always try. And I find that so many women, we try to make ourselves smaller, or someone, especially, no offense guys, but a lot of men will either try to talk down to us because we intimidate them, because maybe we've done some things more successfully. And I've certainly been punished for my success in the industry that I'm in. And I find that we can't do that. We shouldn't do that. And we should support other women. When we see another woman suffering that, we should definitely come to her aid. And it's not about finance necessarily. It's also the emotional community support. I'm part of a lot of women's organizations where women in finance, women in sustainable agricultural women in funding women's vision. And some of that is just the emotional support. You need to have the group dynamic that is very supportive of women going through that. And sometimes that's all you need, and you need to be able to express yourself freely. But I love that question. I would say, don't let anyone limit you. And we have to work on that as women, because we dress like we cover ourselves up from head to toe. We'll be more demure. We'll apologize. Don't apologize, women. And also, if I can just say one last thing, women, if you wear something that makes you feel good, own it. And guys, if you think a woman is dressing up for you, she's not. She's dressing for herself.
Thank
that
you.
is a secret.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Oh,
Taylor.
No. Tell the crowd.
oh.
Step out there. We're trying. Come on, everybody. Encourage Sarah. Okay, that is some sort of torture, I'm sure. But we're trying to encourage Sarah to come out and speak, because you speak beautifully when you do. So, and we've seen her do it a few times. Yes, indeed.
Inside and out.
Yes. Well, the whole empowerment series is her fault. So, her credit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you, Amber, and thank you for being part of us since the very first event, right? And it's yes. So, and we are nothing without all of you. Anyway, and also somebody we really appreciate is Taylor Costa Van Putten. So let me get his slide up here. Why don't you hand him the mic? He has also been with us since the beginning. And he has his own slide here somewhere, I think. There he is. Okay, and he's going to talk about alternative assets and how it can empower people. And does he have a microphone? Yes, he does.
I do.
Okay, so come on up here and I will get out of your way.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Sarah. Hey, everybody. I'm Taylor, Costa Van Putten. Good to meet anybody I haven't met yet. Given the theme of money in motion and generational wealth transfer, Sarah asked me to talk a little bit about alternative assets, because that's mostly what I deal in day to day. But alternative assets actually doesn't really mean anything. It's a massive category of pretty much everything that's not public equities, stocks, and bonds and real estate. So I don't know, raise your hands if you own any alternative assets. Okay, literally everybody, right? So I wanted to chat a little bit about not only generational differences or money in motion, but similarities as well, as I think that the things that most excite me in the world of alternative assets are some of the fun projects and offerings that I get to work on, which is more passion investments, which can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. But I'm a private placement agent, advisor, consultant, broker. I deal in all kinds of esoteric assets, from whiskey in a barrel, plenty of other spirits, Bitcoin, discount, arbitrage, liquidity. Ask me about that if you want a mouthful. Sports teams, coffee farms, you name it. I've probably dealt with it. But the things that I noticed in working with investors from family offices, private wealth, even just individual people with a variety of interests, is the thing that really unites generations is a serious growing interest in not only more interesting esoteric investments, but passion investments. I'm talking about the things that leap off of a spreadsheet and can become experiences in your life. For example, I ran a firm here in New York that was a whiskey barrel brokerage, which 99% of Americans that I ever talked to didn't have any idea that you could own or buy a barrel of whiskey, never mind that you could actually make some money off of it. Now, if you were to read, say, the Barclays report on family office and generational wealth transfer, you'd see there obviously is a divide in the older generation versus the younger generation and how much of their portfolio they allocate to these kinds of alternatives. But what the report agrees on is that year over year over year, all categories of people are getting more and more interested in these kinds of investments. And a lot of that is because of that experience element. The fact that when you own, say, a barrel of whiskey or a share of the Los Angeles Chargers NFL team or a part of a Formula One race team, you not only get the financial benefits, but you also get an experience. And that can mean anything from the ability to take home a bottle of your investment put your name on it to box seats at the stadium or at the racetrack. And so I think I notice more and more and more that people want to have a small part of their time that's dedicated to the things that really excite them. That can also make them a couple of bucks. So those are the kinds of things that I actually enjoy spending the most time on consulting on, because people spend an inordinate amount of time focused on learning about and getting excited about these investments versus how much of their portfolio they allocate to them. Most people probably shouldn't be spending more than 1 to 2% of their wealth on multi-million dollars worth of barrels of whiskey, right? But people still spend hours and hours and hours and make trips out to warehouses in Scotland or Ireland or Japan or wherever their barrels are, to enjoy the experience of the fact that their wealth went into producing a product that hundreds or thousands of people are going to be able to enjoy and that they can enjoy themselves. So all that suffice to say, it's been really fascinating to participate in the things that people get excited about when it comes to their money. If anybody wants to chat about the odd, the esoteric, finding new ways to protect wealth, build wealth for the next generation, some of these types of assets can last for literally generations and generations. So I'd be happy to chat with you about it. But thanks for having me, Sarah.
Anybody have questions for Taylor? Oh, we've got a couple of questions, but we're going to go to our first speaker tonight since she broke the ice for everybody.
What do you got for me, Julie?
Oh, geez, I can use my big girl voice.
I don't think you need that. But it gets down to the internet.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Julie.
Good to meet you.
So great to meet you too. Liked what you had to say. I really enjoy who you are, and your bio has me curious. So my question to you is, you're on the board of directors. What is the Opportunity Music Project, your nonprofit organization?
The Opportunity Music Project is a nonprofit based here in New York City. I come from a musical background. I played trumpet as a kid, piano. I sing in a local choir. And I had the benefit of having parents and a music program at my school. My parents paid for my trumpet and my trumpet lessons and a baby grand piano and piano lessons. And here in New York, especially, and really around the whole country, kids don't have the opportunity, A, because music programs and arts programs are being cut because there's no money and it's not a priority. And B, a lot of parents in New York and elsewhere cannot afford to buy an instrument, cannot afford even $20 a week to rent an instrument, certainly cannot afford to pay for lessons. So the Opportunity Music Project is simply designed not only to empower kids all over the city to have access to free instruments, string instruments and piano at this point, viola, cello, violin, and piano. So we take in donations, we pay for instruments for kids to take all throughout their musical careers, starting from kindergarten through 12th grade. Not only do we put instruments in their hands, but also you probably need to know how to use an instrument, right? So we have students at the Juilliard School of Music that we pay for their time to give kids a literal world-class music education from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. Some of our kids have gone on to graduate and get accepted into Juilliard. That never would have happened if we weren't there. Some of our kids have been with us for 12 plus years. Some of our kids go to Harvard and Columbia. But I can tell you that music changed my life, gave me a discipline and an appreciation for beauty and art. And it does the same for our kids. And if anybody would like to come to Brooklyn Heights, my neighborhood, on October 15th in a week, I will get you an invitation. It is a benefit concert to come see some kids and staff perform. We'd love to have you, and a variety of other events around the city throughout the fall. So please just ask me or ask Sarah and we'll get connected later. Thanks for the question.
Awesome. Thank you, Taylor. I love that project. So Taylor, can we have them play at our next event?
The lawyer said no.
The lawyer said no. The lawyer, James. Yes.
We can get our Juilliard staff to come though.
Okay,
Gladly.
we'll work on that. Thank you, Taylor. More questions? Okay. Okay. So say your name again, so I don't get confused again.
Name is. Had the privilege of speaking to you a while ago. Coming from a music background myself, my grandfather was David Armstead. Played trumpet. Played with Sonny Rollins. Cotton Club, everything. My question to you when it comes to the nonprofit is, are we dealing with the issue of the scarcity of the children in certain geographical areas that do not have the access or means to come to these places? Also, me coming from a musical background, I understand that you're correct when it comes to the displacement of financial recognition or even sustainability for these children. But my question is, even if you provide the overall results in the present time of their life, can we also make a pathway for the present position for them to advance in adult life as musicians? Can we create the programs for people like me who are play by ear, who do not have the mastery of music theory, who suffer with dyslexia, who cannot read scale notes and propositional notes? I get that you're providing instruments, but there's also the understanding, can we also invite the certain kid that cannot play on the composition and skill notes that you are trained in? And what I mean with that is that, yes, there are a bunch of art programs that have been cut, but those programs have been cut since I was in school in 2004 in elementary. So that's not a problem that is new. It is a proven fact that it has happened for the last almost 15 to 16 years of the music and art program in New York. My question to you is, are we going to create not after school programs, but maybe create scholarship programs that also train people as they would train us in the workforce who are musical and musicians? So can we start in school programs from K-12 to college freshmen? Can we like start from the dismantling of doing music theory and music appreciation to also rebuilding musicians that play by ear, who can compose notes and obscure pieces that are not the fundamental structure of the music theory and education that you've been taught?
Can adults get an education in music? They should and they could. Absolutely. We don't do it. We wish we could. We don't have enough money to go around to service all the kids that apply. But in case you're interested, or in case anybody's interested, there are some really cool New York City organizations, both government and non-government. If you have a New York City Public Library card or a Brooklyn Public Library card, they have music instrument libraries, and they will lend you music instruments for you to play with for several days at a time. As far as education goes, that's something that I don't know too many organizations that will be hands-on, one-on-one tutors and trainers, but there are plenty of community groups out there that just want to play music together, and that's a little bit of self-teaching. There is also, through a variety of different organizations, community singing, where somebody who doesn't know how to read music can come in and listen by ear and sing along with a small choir, which is really a beautiful thing. My wife works for the Office of Mental Health of New York State and works out of a building called the Living Museum at Creedmoor in Queens. Legendary psychiatric museum facility. And they've got a building called the Living Museum, which is 100% art therapy for literally anybody in the community that wants to show up. And they have a music room, they've got art materials. It's a creative outlet to heal your soul, your person, and your mind. They will not teach you how to play the drums, but you can bang away all you want. I'm happy to invite you there as well. But yeah, I wish there were more resources for creativity in the world. Needs to be not only the energy, the money, the time, the effort spent. We should definitely do that. Thanks for the question.
Big round of applause for Taylor. Costa Van Putten. Also the provider of the whiskey that many people drank, and the vodka, and lots of great things. We, I believe, have two more speakers, right? Sarah, did you want to say something? Okay, good. Not that she can't speak. So one of my favorite portfolio CEOs for our fund, and one of the winners of one of our contests that we run, and this might actually take you to it. So I met Mette during a crowdfunding campaign on our website, where she got 109 likes, 2 partners, 3 pilots, and 6 investors. These are the investors who have a passion for doing something that matters. In this case, it was treating autoimmune disease. So that was in 2015 we invested in 2017, right? Anyway, so she has done some amazing things, and she's a very inspirational person, and we're very happy we invested. And she's here today to talk to us about rethinking autoimmune disease. So we're going to go from talking about music and other things you're passionate about to what you were passionate about. And so, having been with you for almost 10 years now, I feel very lucky to have been around you and your empowerment. We don't always agree, but we are similarly inspired by each other. There's also a couple other healthcare innovation leaders here. You guys want to raise your hands? Bruce Kaufman, Avishad Nesavir, James Cummings. So if you want to talk about healthcare innovation, that is kind of the bag of MedStarter and everything we do. So really wonderful to have you here. So I don't know where the microphone is though. Taylor, do you have it?
Over on the side here.
Okay. Here, take this one. I'll get that one. Mette Dyhrberg.
Well, hi everyone. So my name is Mette. I am from Legoland, also known as Denmark.
Sorry, guys.
All right, I'll start. I'm on? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, as I said, I'm from Legoland, also known as Denmark. I like to build things. I'm a serial entrepreneur. But this was a personal journey. I got my first autoimmune condition when I was 14, spent the first half of my 20s being told it was all in my head, and the second half of my 20s collecting disease labels. So by 30, I couldn't walk. I had 6 autoimmune conditions. I was shooting myself with all sorts of biologic drugs that supposedly were going to get me back on the street, and didn't. And so in my mid-30s, after having sort of lived this for 20 years, one of my doctor's teams, and as anyone who's chronic ill knows, you have a lot of doctors, and it takes up a lot of your time. One of them called me and said they had great news. So I took a plane to LA, got a rental, called my mom on the way and said, it's great news. And then I got into trouble because they told me I wasn't going to die in the quote unquote immediate future, which at the time I was naive enough to think that that hadn't been why they called me in. So I said, that's fine. So what's the great news? And at this point, it got exceedingly awkward because they were quite happy with my numbers. And so on that day, I went from being disempowered as a patient to being empowered as a human, not because I knew anything about healthcare, but because as an economist, having him say he was happy with my numbers was not an option. And so I left the hospital not knowing anything about what to do next, but I knew I needed to get control. And so I started a little journal, which is what everybody does when they want to do anything dietary. And a couple of days later, realized it was a mess. And I had no idea what was up and down. So I turned to an Excel spreadsheet, started looking at causalities between what I was doing and how it was affecting my health. And a couple of homemade algorithms later, I was able to dissect what was going on. A little bit more of this, a little bit less of that. 16 months later, I had normalized my blood work. I had reversed all of my disease symptoms. And I was able to walk out of there thinking that, okay, now I had dropped the backpack and I was ready to live my life. But as anyone who's had that come to Jesus moment knows, you get stubborn. And so I wanted the doctors to at least acknowledge that this was possible. And I got many variations on the theme, but the most common one was that I hadn't been sick in the first place, which at some point I decided I'm just going to take it. I'm a foreigner with 6 previous or whatever they're called conditions. So why pre-existing conditions? So I thought to myself, I'm going to take this. So I said, I'll broker that deal. And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, well, if I wasn't sick, it's going off the EHR, right? And he's like, no, not really. And for the first time in my life, I got to use an American saying, being served a shit sandwich. And it led me, I just started my last company, but it led me to this journey of trying to help others replicate what I had done for myself. So while I built my last company, and I actually sold it in 16 right before I went on the pitch at MedStarter to Equinox, I helped 70 women because this, as Julie said, 80% of women manage the funds, but 80% of women have autoimmune disease, or the ratio is 80 to 20. And so that sort of became my thing. I became this crazy woman who spent my weekends and evenings helping women reverse autoimmune disease until I had done it for 70 people and thought, you know what, if you can do it for 70 people with different diagnoses, you could probably do it for more. And so it became a question of where and why. And the where became important because autoimmune conditions is all about your immune system getting quote unquote confused and attacking itself. And specialists have decided that this is very hard because over 100 different diseases attacking the body in different places. RA is the skin, lupus is the organs, psoriasis is somewhere else. Everything is separatable. But if Alex had prostate cancer and I had breast cancer, everybody in this room would agree that the underlying mechanism was cancer. And my thesis was, what if we treated autoimmune disease the same way? We looked at the why. And so it took me a while to get to a place where I could actually prove this out. But I was able to say, well, if a celiac patient, when gluten gets ingested, has an overreaction and have the body attack itself, what if we were billions of people in the world and other people would have that same reaction to something that wasn't already labeled as a disease, where there's blood work that you can go and have done at your doctor? And oh, by the way, celiac disease is still only 1 in 5 is diagnosed. So if you don't have any of those things, it's going to be hard. And so what we do is essentially sort of stage the journey. We're able to say, similar to cancer, stage 0 is when your blood work says you have elevated ANA, your doctor knows you're on this journey. Stage 1 is you are now getting symptomatic. You're starting to see doctors who are telling you that they can't see anything, but you're most likely going to get disease. Stage 2 is you now have a full-blown autoimmune disease. And 3, you have 2 or more diseases. And stage 4, you have organ involvement. We can prove that by identifying what actually triggers your individual system, that we can reverse that journey, similar to what you do in cancer. And so I'm standing here before you. I'm turning 50 in a short while, and I'm healthier than I was in my 20s and 30s. Whereas, by the way, I was also infertile because that's another predecessor to being autoimmune. And I just, after doing this work, were able to get naturally pregnant at 47. And I have a little 2-year-old who's at home. What we do here is we try and change lives. And everybody has different journeys into this. But for me, what it all comes down to is really standing next to the people who have gone through these journeys and showing them it is possible to change the trajectory. So thank you.
So who has questions for Mette Dyhrberg? Ariel Serber?
No.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yes. Don't forget to state your name, hometown, and major.
Hi, I'm Andre Watson. I'm the founder and CEO of Ligandel. We work on how to target different cells and organs in vivo with gene therapies and drugs, GPS for CRISPR, if you will. I was really curious about what kind of data inputs, outputs, interventions you're kind of working with now, and what your ultimate vision of that. Like, do you want to sequence TCRs? Like, what are the data inputs and outputs?
So the interesting thing is that you and I could run our business next to each other and have absolutely no overlap. In the future, so anyone I work with, I recommend they get tissue samples frozen because the future will look very different. But what we do is we look at very measurable things that are up close. So most people get set up with an app and they take pictures of what they eat or drink, and they have sort of preset set of symptoms that they're experiencing. Like I saw Weill Cornell on the door downstairs. We just did a chronic pain study with them a couple of years ago. And one of the things they wanted to do was look at mild, moderate, severe pain. But that looks different for everyone. An RA patient, it could be achy joints, mobility issues, I can't get out of bed. And when you track that up against what you're doing, we're able to use AI and technology in the background to pinpoint the causality. And so what made me unable to walk and gave me a whole slew of other things was that I am severely allergic to chicken. And the only thing I know is 20 years of being sick taught me that I couldn't eat red meat. My Jewish friends told me no seafood. My well-meaning grandma told me none of this. And so at the end of the day, I just ate more and more chicken and got sicker and sicker. And so what's so interesting about this is that on a cell level, there's 100% a future for you and me to be married on this topic. But where we are right now, it is so rudimentary, it's ridiculous. And so what I see as a future is us taking all of these medical insights that we find at this level, and you back that into the genetics, because we can now see that if you've had your appendix taken out, you're 85% more likely to see me. If you had your gallbladder taken out, you're 100% likely to see me. And so all of these things are supposedly not related if you look at medical literature, but we have thousands of data points that shows otherwise. And so that's where we will interrelate, but we're not there yet.
Big round of applause for Mette Dyhrberg, bringing it back. And just wonderful to see your journey and where it's going to be next, immune health. So we're very excited about that. Okay, so you guys have been a very patient audience, but I know it's been very inspirational, people. What's that? Show of hands. You got time for one more? Okay. So bring your hands together for Ariel Serber, one of the founders of the Art of Empowerment, one of the creators of this thing. So thank you, Ariel, for all you've done. This is the first time he's taken the stage. We're very excited about it. We do have a microphone someplace. Hold it close to your mouth. Please keep everybody entertained. Take pictures.
I was wondering, how did I get here? Because first of all, Sarah, Alex have done an amazing job curating speakers. So round of applause, please. All speakers and everything else that went into tonight. So I feel that curating is a very important act that we all do each and every day. Curating serendipity is something I like to think about, and that's how I like to think about why I'm here, how I got here, because I'm not from Denmark. I've never been homeless. I've not, I don't know, done crypto stuff. Advisor from Brooklyn. Like, that's it. I never did archaeology. I didn't do Indiana Jones stuff. Mathematics. No, I was failing in math. But I've always been good with people, and I think that if you can help people get what they want, you will end up what you want. Correct. So over time, I've become very involved with entrepreneurs and supporting them on their missions to change the world and make a real big impact. And I also realized that I love hearing their stories, talking to them, hearing about what their mission is, their why, and that's really what ties all the speakers together. By the way, if you were really listening, it's all about the story and what's gotten them where they started to where they are now and where they're going. So I think to sort of bind it all together is to think about how we can each support one another and eventually come up here and tell your own story and what's going to be the legacy of that story that you create. We're talking about money in motion. There's obviously trillions of dollars at stake. By the way, I'm just glad that we had an event and we didn't say two letters that have been at every event forever, especially in any startup or business or family office. AI has not even come up once, which actually I'm very happy about. So I think that by focusing on people's stories and missions and supporting them in their endeavors and what they're looking to do, and following up with people, because really what's going to matter, and perspective is really so much the key. What's really going to matter is obviously what happens tonight, but what happens tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that, the conversations that flow and follow, and how we continue to curate the serendipity in this as a community and in our own lives. So thanks again. And that's really it. I think that's kind of a high note, high level, and
Nice wrap up, Ariel. That was amazing. So, are there questions? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Following someone else's lead. It's just, could you talk about what Secure the Bag is?
okay, so secure the bag. So a little while ago, I started creating on LinkedIn just as a way to gain credibility, meet new people, find contacts, and all that good stuff. And then over time, I started going to events and realized I was pretty good at going to events and meeting people. Like, that's how I met Sarah and eventually Alex, and obviously everyone here. Hello, nice to meet you. And so I started doing LinkedIn Lives, and the LinkedIn Lives and a newsletter. So I had to name it something. And Secure the Bag is really about financial empowerment and financial independence, which are very important to me because I feel like people don't have the framework for making solid, good financial decisions that lead them to a better life that they want to live down the road. Because having control of your finances is, to me, it's really, that's the only way we can become financially free. Did I say the same thing twice?
Okay, very good. Any other questions for Ariel, for Sarah? For anyone? Okay, we can all talk outside. Okay, so I believe, yes, he is, as is Sarah. So I believe that comes the end of our program for tonight. I didn't forget anybody, right? It's very, very exciting, all this empowerment. Thank you to all of our speakers. Thank you to all of you who stayed for the entire show. What do you guys think? Scale of 1 to 10. Okay, applause meter. Okay. I think we can do things better for these types of things because this is still sort of experimental. This is only our 5th Art of Empowerment event. We don't usually do it like this. Anyway, so let you get up and thank you all. Big yourselves. Thank you. And especially all the people that ask questions, all the engagement. Like, go out and grab a drink and talk to each other at 9 o'clock. I think we have to leave here like at 9:30. We're going to hang out at a place called La Cava, I believe, which is down the street. What is it, 50th and I don't know, something like that. Anyway, thank you.